Good morning, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia and I am an urban gardener growing in a small space in my backyard. Today I am still working towards fall and preparing before it gets way too cold outside for me to even want to be out here. So today, if you have been here for a while, you know I've been talking about getting my compost pile taken care of, the finished compost, so that I can flip the compost that's still going. I'm not going to sift this soil, and because I do not believe I'm going to mulch this garden this year, I'm going to take this compost out. I'm not going to sift it, and I'm just going to mulch the top with compost because my leaves on my plants are looking so much better this year without mulch. And I believe that's because the snails and the slugs they don't have anywhere to hide. And so I'm not going to mulch my beds. I'm going to show you the leaves of the plants. This is the first year that this has not happened. I'm not going to tell you not to mulch because it does protect the soil. It does warm the soil. I'm just going to see this year if I can go without mulching. Also, tell me in the comments below if you mulch your soil and what do you mulch your soil with. These are collards. You can see there's a few little holes in there. I think that came, kind of earlier. But if you look at the rest of my leaves, I mean, they look really good. And for the 2 years that I have been gardening, this has not been the case in the fall. And I am contributing it to the fact that I have not mulched these beds. And this is another bed. You can see there aren't really any holes. There isn't much damage. This is one of the kale plants that was eaten down. You can see right there where the leaves had gotten eaten, and it's growing back, y'all. Excited about that. But yeah, look, no holes. Let me show you the other beds. No real holes, no real damage. I mean, except for that cabbage back there, which I just don't know what's happening to it. The other thing is it's starting to get cooler. We're supposed to be nice this weekend and next week, but it's starting to get cooler. And so I doubt that I'm going to be out here fertilizing with fish emulsion every week. So I do want to throw some compost on the bed so that there's extra nutrients in there because I'm just not going to be doing it in the cold. The other thing I'm planning to do today, hello puppy, is put up that last Vigo garden bed that I have. It's a smaller one. It's a child's bed, but like I said, it's a garden bed. So I'm gonna put that up. And all of the pepper plants that I pulled out, I'm going to use that to fill the bed. I have some grass that someone gave me a while ago, so I'm gonna use that to fill the bed. And then I'm gonna throw some compost over that as well. So this is the other one that I got. It's a kid's raised bed. 17 inches high. It's kind of short. So this is where I had the bags of tomatoes at. And so that is where I'm going to put that one. I have to move this stuff though because, oh, look at that little pepper. I'll go ahead and take that. You know what I was noticing? The peppers where I pulled the plants, if there was pepper still on them, some of them are ripening still, but like right here. And so when you talk about mulching is just putting a layer of something on top of the soil so that it doesn't get dry quickly, like the soil where your roots are doesn't get dry quickly. It's to keep it warm in the winter, keep it cool in the summer. So I'm gonna use compost for that. So the top layer of the compost will dry, but the soil up under it will not. And when it rains or if I water, the nutrients from the compost that's on the top will drain down into the soil at the bottom. So small space garden problems. I now also have to move the water hose. I want to get one of those little water hoses that you, the little things you put on the wall and then you can pull it out and pull it in. I'm gonna look into that. If you have one, tell me how you like it because my spout for the hose is in the front. And so I would have to put it back here. Somewhere. Then I could get a splitter so that I could still have a hose in the front and have a hose in the back. So I'm thinking about that. Probably something I'll do in the off season so that I could be prepared for spring. And my next video will probably be starting a new compost pile. So make sure you subscribe. So if you are interested in starting a compost pile in an urban setting or just anywhere, you can see that video when I make it. So of course, this is my sifter. I made it. It's just some wire or hardware cloth and 2x4 that I put together with L brackets. But I'm not gonna use that today because the compost isn't finished, but it's also not still hot. So I'll be fine just to throw it over the top. This is also going to help my weeds. That's another thing when you use a mulch. It helps with the weed pressure as well. To show you my setup, this is one side. It is chicken wire, I believe, and some fencing. And then I put T-post up. That's one side. This side is still going, still working. This is a lot of the garden waste from summer. And this side is pretty much done. You can see some larger pieces, and then the leaves from the trees are also falling. I put plastic up just so it can hold it in as it starts to compost down. All right, so we have our compost. I'm just gonna take it and throw it on these beds. There's a good amount left in there, but I need some to fill the other garden bed with anyway. So like I said, not completely finished, has some leaves in it, but leaves can be used to mulch with too. It has pretty much broken down, and it will continue to break down over winter. This is also called top dressing. So this is another way to provide nutrients to your plants while also protecting the soil. And you don't have to have a lot of compost to do this top dressing thing. Like I said, I pretty much make my compost at home now. I haven't purchased compost since before the spring started. You don't have to have a lot of space to make compost. Warm out here, y'all. All right, so that's our last wheelbarrow full of compost right there. I'm gonna use that to fill the garden bed. I'm not gonna do the garden bed on camera because I just did a video about filling the garden bed. You'll be able to find it over on Instagram though, in case you are interested. Now, pretty much all of that compost is gone. Of course, there's a little bit left. I'm gonna take this stuff, put it over here. But first, there are a whole bunch of marigold seed pods over here in the compost pile from when I pulled them. I'm gonna grab a good amount of those first before I flip this. So now we're just gonna take this stuff and flip it over to the other pile. So a lot of the unfinished stuff will be at the bottom and the more finished stuff will be at the top. I gotta get rid of these. These are sunflower poles, and maybe not get rid of them, but at least cut them down a little bit because they're very sturdy poles. I've kept them so that I can use them for staking next year. Right now they're just kind of in the way. A lot of this is done too. Doesn't look like it because I threw the garden waste from the year on it. This is food scraps that I never came and put in. Well, I want to say done, but it's definitely started the process. If you remember a couple of months ago, I cleaned out the chicken bedding. So it's very helpful in helping this pile to start moving. There's something growing in there. Can y'all see that? Roots from something. Wasn't hot at all. It was at 60. So I could heat this back up by getting some coffee grinds, which I probably will do. You can get coffee grinds from Starbucks. They normally have them at the door in like a little bucket. Oxygen will help it heat back up too. I had cucamelons growing out of this during the summer. I didn't eat them though. I have anxiety, so I was like, what if it's not cucamelon? I'm pretty sure it was cucamelon. Composting is not for the faint of heart. I will tell you that. I don't care how many people say it's easy. It's easy to do. The action of it is a lot of work. Starting to find the stuff that hadn't composted. Like there's some leaves. And that's why it's kind of important to turn it, which I'm not even sure the last time I turned this, so it'll still work without you turning it. Don't get me wrong. I gotta take a break, y'all. To show you, this was full to the top. That's how much I've gotten out. And that was empty. So, working on it. So I came back outside to start again. But I am tired. I'm not gonna start again. But just so you know, compost is awesome. And you can make it at home yourself. Next video will be way more detailed today. I'm just trying to get stuff done. So make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to like, share if you would like to. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram, where I post about the things going on in the garden just about every day. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Bye.